right, so you mentioned it, and you said it was debatable.
Yeah.
I am curious because we're talking all this money about Justin Jefferson.
Okay.
Who are, if you had to rank them, 1 through 5, give me your 1 through 3, whatever. Who are the 5 best wide receivers? And I do want 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, we can go 5.
Who are the 5 best receivers in the NFL
all right,
for
so
you?
let me say this about Justin Jefferson before I even go into my list.
Yeah.
I said it's debatable, but and although I love arguing with you, I actually live for it, George. It's not really worth a big argument over because, the guy's all world, right? So obviously he's going to make my top 5. But for number 1, even though Justin Jefferson possesses some of this, I don't believe he's as prolific as this player. I'm going to go Tyreek Hill as number 1. And the reason why is, although he's smaller in stature than Justin Jefferson, he is durable. We have seen we've seen fast guy injuries from Tyreek Hill. You see the occasional sore hamstring or an ankle here, an ankle there.
As it was this season.
But for the most part, he's very durable. And here's where I give him the edge over Justin Jefferson. Justin Jefferson, you could throw up a 50-50 ball. He's going to get it every time.
It's 95-5 with him.
Every time. Tyreek Hill, although smaller in stature, is such an athletic freak.
Yeah.
This guy can jump up there with the Guardians of the Galaxy. So he comes down with 50-50 balls like nobody's business, too. So I like Tyreek Hill there. And then you and I both know the world-class speed. Justin Jefferson's fast. He ain't got world-class speed like this kid does. Tyreek Hill could take a slant. He could take a bubble screen. You could throw to him deep. It doesn't matter. Whatever route you want, he can run it. And if he gets his hands on that damn ball, it is curtains for you. And he's throwing up the peace sign and paying the fine to the NFL. Mm-hmm. So that's why I'm going to go Tyreek Hill. Another reason is this. When Justin Jefferson went out, I saw the ascension of Jordan Addison and others in an offense with a competent quarterback.
Yeah.
When Tyreek Hill is out for the Dolphins, I don't see anything that resembles a Dolphins' high-powered offense at all. And Jalen Waddle's fantastic, but he ain't Tyreek Hill. Tua, I like, but obviously without Tyreek Hill, he just looks like a jag. And I ain't talking about Jacksonville. I'm saying just a guy.
Just another guy.
Right? So Tyreek Hill's value, I really agreed with you that Justin Jefferson was the best in the game until I saw Tyreek Hill go out and the Dolphins fall apart. Yeah. You could actually make a case, and I did last season, if Tyreek Hill didn't get hurt, he could have been the MVP of the league.
Of course.
And I wouldn't have had an issue with it.
Yeah, especially value to that team.
So that's why I'll go Tyreek here as 1, and then Justin Jefferson, 2, for everything I know you're going to say and everything we've already talked about with him. I'll go Jamar Chase 3. I think he's a little bit bigger of a version of Tyreek Hill, just not quite as explosive. But he's another guy anywhere on the field. If he catches it, forget it.
He runs through dudes' faces, which I love about him. After the catch, how vicious of a runner he is. I think that's where he's a difference maker and stands out to me against any receiver in the league.
He can dance and boogie on you, or he can run you over. He's got great hands. He's great in the route tree. He's really a complete wide receiver. And then A.J. Brown, just a physical freak, obviously. Mean, tough, got that dog in him. He can obviously block. One knock on him, and I almost moved him down here, but
I know
he's just such a freak that I can't do it. But he kind of reminds me of Anquan Bolden a lot. But one thing he doesn't have that Anquan Bolden had, he's not. Sometimes I think A.J. Brown's too much about A.J. Brown.
Yeah.
Anquan Bolden was tough as nails and could do all the things A.J. Brown does, but he was about the team. And I've seen some things in recent years from A.J. Brown I don't love. And then last but not least is Ceedee Lamb, just explosive. He's probably the most silky smooth out of all these guys. Most of these guys are explosive, fast twitch, highlight level guys. Ceedee Lamb is as well, but he's a little more refined in his game. He's got some more smoothness to him. He's more like a jazz album and less heavy metal than some of these dudes. So I got Ceedee Lamb as 5.
I have Ceedee Lamb as my 5 too, and I remember when the Patriots hosted the Cowboys a couple of years ago.
Yep.
Watching him, locking in on him, you said it, silky smooth route runner.
Yes.
And this was a guy we saw step up this past season. the focal point of the Cowboys offense, and he's going to have to be that dude again.
Yeah.
135 receptions, 1,700 plus yards, given a 17-game season. I think his targets were just around 160. Maybe it was like 158. I only had 2 drops as well. He's so reliable and a guy that can line up primarily in the slot, but his route running is great. His hands, how he gets open. I think he's a quarterback's best friend. Like Ceedee Lamb is phenomenal to me.
Yep.
And I just, from watching him in person, especially with how bad that receiving group was for the Patriots, to watch him and to lock in on him on a game day, it was very enjoyable. You're like, this is what elite receiving looks like. My number 4, I'm going reverse order if you haven't noticed.
All right.
I go Jamar Chase. And I think the top 3 of my guys are just more dynamic of athletes. But Jamar Chase, if you have him at 3, I can't hate. If anyone wants to have him there, I can't. I think this is a guy, such strong hands, good on the boundaries. Again, as a deep ball receiver, makes it happen, especially after the catch. But I love it when the ball is in his hands, how much of a threat he is to make a play happen beyond that. Number 3 for me is A.J. Brown. 88 catches, 106 the last 2 seasons. 1,400 plus yards his last 2 years. And that's playing in an Eagles offense that was struggling and never got right. But their bailout guy when you need a play, and this is what you need in a wide receiver, nothing's working. Throw it up to A.J. Brown. Go make something happen. He does that for this offense. And it's really tough to find any corner that can cover him for the entirety of a game. He plays with Devontae Smith opposite of him, which helps. Yep. But again, this is a guy that lines up on the outside, can win any pass, an athletic freak, and such a speedster after the catch. My number 2 is Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
Given at 5'10", he could jump up, elevate, and levitate to get any ball, unlike any other receiver. I think he's such an athletic freak.
Yep.
But I have him at 2. As much as he is, almost 1,800 yards, 13 touchdowns last season. Yeah, he was going to be a 2,000-yard receiver if he didn't get hurt.
That's right.
And he very well could have been MVP. But I go pure ability. To me, it's Justin Jefferson. What he's done with Kirk Cousins, whoever's in and out of the lineup. 2022, 128 catches, 1,800 yards this last season. 10 games, only 10 games played, still over 1,000 yards and 5 tutters. I just think Justin Jefferson at 6'1", around 205 pounds, so fast.
Plays big, too.
His catch radius, man. I mean, you just throw it up to him by a pylon, he's going to come down with it. And that's what Kirk Cousins did at times the last 2 seasons.
That's right.
He's made catches unlike what we've seen. So that's why my top 5, I go Justin Jefferson, Tyreek Hill, A.J. Brown, Jamar Chase, and then, of course, Ceedee Lamb as well. There's the fringe guys like the Devontae Adams, the Cooper Kupps, Amon-Ra St. Browns.
Of course.
But I think there's the top 3, then there's 4 or 5, and then there's everyone else in the NFL as well. Hey, you guys make sure to check out the latest episode of Boston Has Entered the Chat, dropping 5 days a week, every Monday through Friday. This episode, Travis and I are on to the NBA Finals, as all Celtics fans and the Celtics team should be. And finally, after they're being tested by the Pacers, how does this set them up for a possible matchup with the Mavericks or the Timberwolves? Plus, we break down the retirement of a former elite eater. Yes, one of the greats to ever do it.